Mr. Chairman, yes, I remember the President appearing in the House as part of his constitutional mandate to update the House on what is happening in the country. And he made us aware of a certain figure of, at that time, new roads. It wasn't pleasant to try to contradict the President because his source of information are better than mine. But the figure 11,000 just jumped out as new roads. And my side said that was a bit less than the truth. Since then, the agencies under the road ministry attempted to adjust the figure as part of the transition. And you remember our view was that only 617 kilometers of roads were new roads, so to stay, at the time. At the transition, they provided details. At the time of the transition, the new roads constructed is 673, which is not far from the 617 we talked about at that time, because it means that few more roads have been completed. So that issue is in a record of the of Parliament that indeed Ghana did not construct 11,000 kilometers of new roads since 2017. Rather, 673 kilometers have been constructed as new roads. The bulk of the work in the 13,624.25 kilometers is regraveling and graveling. That is 6,185.90 kilometers. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. It is now the turn of Muntala Mohammed, a subject matter committee. Okay. Honorable members, I am dealing with 9 on my right and 6 on my left. I am mindful of the standing order in 2177 to admit the leadership, but that one will not also make it 1-1. So allow me to chair and balance.
Speaker, we will allow you. In fact, we will not just allow you. We will help you to lead and chair. But Speaker, I had already prompted you that, and in this house, you go to your left and then you come to your right, even though we are not seated as we often sit in the chamber. I had prompted you of an expression made by the Deputy Whip. So, Speaker, if you may indulge me, you have gone there. If you may allow the Deputy Whip to have a bite, and then you are not the chairman. Are you the chairman? Muntala, are you the chairman? You are not even a member of the committee.
Honorable Chief Whip, I have numbers before me,
yes,
which I will have to balance. So I'm saying that on this occasion, I'm taking 2 and then coming back to. I will balance the number. Whoever should speak.
Are you going by any ratio?
Able to speak. Yes, yes, certainly. Certainly.
It will not last. It will not last.
Honorable Muntala, you have the floor. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, congratulations. My question is simple. In your first year, will you concentrate on completing the abandoned roads or incomplete roads, or you do it alongside with awarding new contracts? And I ask this question because there are several roads that have been working on for several. The Eastern Corridor one, for example. I have an interest because if the road is completed, it takes me lesser time to travel from Accra to my constituency in Tamale, and it opens up the place. And also there are some roads in Tamale Township that are not, completed. So I want to know whether you will concentrate in completing those incomplete roads, or some of them abandoned, or you would do that alongside with new roads. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. The President has already given indication that he will complete ongoing projects. So we have made that commitment and we intend to follow that. But I can foresee a situation where out of need, we may have to start some new projects to address urgent issues. But the first year, our commitment will be to focus on critical road projects which have been abandoned to make them motorable for the use to which it was originally intended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, okay, let's follow up. Well, I should finish before he comes.
Please continue.
Okay. My second question: how do you intend to fund the 10 billion big push that President Mohammed and the NDC intends to do? Because that is going to have a huge, the cost is huge. How do you intend to fund it?
Chairman, the big push is President Mohammed's big intervention on infrastructure. As a sector minister for roads and highways, it is my responsibility, as I said, to identify critical road projects, package them after design and everything, make sure it meets the required value for money features, and present them to the Minister of Finance for financing. As we are all aware, the big push is a 4-year, $10 billion proposal. The projects that will go into this basket of projects ought to be cutting edge and the ones that make significant intervention in whichever sector. So they are not necessarily road projects worth 10 billion. They are just big, significant infrastructure projects worth 10 billion. So equates to about 2.5 billion annually for the 4 years.
Mr. Chairman.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yes, a follow-up on that.
There's a follow-up on that. Then you can ask your follow-up question. Okay. Then I will recognize the chief.
Okay, Mr. Chairman,
on a follow-up.
I think the challenge that confronts us in this country on the matter of spending such huge sums of money in road construction is the durability or how long those roads last. We have had complaints where contractors finish with the road is commissioned, and by 1 year, you find potholes on the roads. As a minister, taking into consideration the amount of money that government intend to spend on that, what measures are you putting in place to ensure that the quality of the roads that are to be constructed using these monies is something that is of tremendous interest to you and concern? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Industry players would put few factors as the reason the roads fail. 2 days ago, I was getting a briefing to the effect that even the materials we use. In some countries, the bitumen that is used on their road are produced by themselves. So the engineers determine the composition. If you watch in our country, even some contractors buy bitumen in drums, imported from somewhere. Nobody is able to determine whether this bitumen is good for our climate. So the materials we use, the design of the road, the supervision. One issue facing the road agencies. Some agencies have, which are supposed to be an engineering outfit, which requires civil engineers, mechanical engineers, quantity surveyors, have more administrative staff than engineers. So you could see an engineer supervising a project, and the capacity is not even there for him or her to be able to do this in reasonable time. So we ought to work on the staffing of the road agencies to have the qualified staff. I've also seen documents that suggest that some of the agencies, the level of the new engineers, the current engineers, compared to when they will retire, there's going to be a gap because we are not recruiting new engineers to be trained enough before they exit. So it will be a combination of how we select materials, the design, the capacity of the contractors, and also government ability to pay contractors expeditiously when works are done. When contractors work, they are not paid. They vacate the site. And you pay them some time. What happens is that once the money is not theirs, the bank takes the money. You can't actually know whether they've gone to the site to do anything. So to be able to deal with this matter, we should address it on all fours. Otherwise, we will see what we are seeing, where you spend 4 billion on a project and then 10 billion as interest on that 4 billion. It's unacceptable and not sustainable.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you. I recognize.
I want clarity on the point he made, and I think it's important.
Please, Honorable Muntala, go ahead and I'll come to you.
Honorable Minister nominee, the issue of the quality of manpower that you use, because you gave an example that sometimes people are recruited to work in areas where they don't have the expertise, particularly the engineers. Are you going to engage more engineers or more technical people for specific portfolios, or you want to build the capacity of the existing ones? Because I do know that there are some who may not necessarily be engineers. An example is planning. You and I, we all went to the same department. You go to the assemblies, you have people who are not planners, but who have been trained to do works that are supposed to be done by planners. Equally, in the road sector, is it an issue that you build the capacity of those who have been engaged?
Thank you very much.
Or you want to recruit?
Honorable nominee, your response.
Yes, I think a combination of both. And fortunately, Ghana has one of the best training institutes at Koforidua, where they train in-house training. Even members of parliament, we do get some capacity building sometimes within our committees to be able to be effective. So indeed, those in the service already need, to update their knowledge. But critically, we need to recruit new engineers and give them that capacity so that we can have a good number of people deployed on the almost 4,000 different road projects going on at the same time across the country.